Are you listening? Damn.
Another episode of Trash Talk. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Cheeto Jones Hernandez. Oh my
Nope.
God!
Oh.
I was saying Rodriguez
no.
in my head. I was saying Rodriguez in my head to make sure I didn't fuck it up. Oh my dude, I'm gonna do this 12 more times before I get it right. All right. I messed up on my own name once. If that makes you feel better. All right. Oh. Rodriguez. Fuck, dude.
Rodriguez.
Still gonna say Hernandez. Rodriguez. Rodriguez. All right. Another episode of Trash Talk. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Cheeto Jones Rodriguez, who just had a very impressive MMA debut going down at the Myth October 19th. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing a little bit. I'm a little bit frustrated. I forgot to shout out the sponsors: Ink Shrinks Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota, Valhalla Combat Sports, and Mile High CBD Buds. Now that I got that out of the way, we can move on to this interview. Sorry about that.
I'm doing well, Cheeto. I'm glad that you joined us. Very impressive debut at the Myth, like Damien mentioned this past weekend. First round finish, 42 seconds, I believe. Showed a huge slam, huge takedown. How was that feeling getting in the cage for the first time? You brought half the building with you, so I know you had a huge turnout.
Yeah, no, I was impressed. Like, I knew what I wanted to do when I went in there. I just wanted to make sure I got my West Side dub smacked out of the way, and then I knew I was going to finish him pretty quick. So that's kind of how that went.
Oh yeah, well, I'd say mission accomplished. You went out there. You did exactly what you wanted to do. At the end of the fight, in the post-fight interview, you were asked whether you liked boxing or MMA better, and it was at that point where I was informed that you had actually had an amateur boxing match previously as well, and making your amateur MMA debut, plus all the years of wrestling. You say you like MMA more. Was that always the plan to jump in MMA once you turned 18?
Absolutely. I think that since I was younger, like I always wanted to kind of get into it. I knew I had a big wrestling background, so the thing is, coming out of college, I wanted to kind of get my hands right, because I already knew I had most of the wrestling down and stuff. So, yeah, I just figured that getting my hands right was the most important thing at that time. So I got some MMA or some boxing amateur fights, and then I ended up transitioning into this. And I was very confident, so I was ready to go.
Okay, that's interesting you say that, because when I was asking the question, I was under the assumption that your amateur boxing fight happened before you turned 18. It happened after you were already in college?
Oh yeah, it happened when I was done with college, yep.
Okay, for the fans that don't know, for amateur boxing, I'm not sure what the start age for that is, but you can do it before you turn 18. For MMA, you have to be 18 to even get an amateur fight. So that was the difference there. So yeah, going right into boxing right after your college wrestling career, knowing you wanted to get right in MMA. Have you been just following this plan this whole time, or has that something that just came up in the middle of wrestling, or did you just know this even back in high school?
Oh, this has been our plan for a long time. Like, we just knew, and we just trained it. We did what I had to do, and then this is kind of like the opening of it. That's why I was confident, because I knew since I was young, I was like, it's my time. And I knew right away. I was like, I'm bred for this shit, so let's go.
Yeah, and that's something that we talk about a lot. Is you can have all the athleticism, you can have all the talent, but you got to have that want to fight, and that's something at a young age that you want. And we talked about your background. You placed at state highly a couple times. Went to Iowa Central. Just for the fans that might not know, can you give us a little detail as far as your background, as far as training? What led you to this point?
So, yeah, I'm actually All American last year for Iowa Central. I'm an All American, so NJCAA All American. So that, and then pretty much growing up, just went everywhere. So I'm used to being around a lot of crowd of people. I've been in high level wrestling since I can remember. So being around a lot of people and being confident, it's nothing new to me. So I'm just glad that I got to get out there, do it in the next fight.
One of the things that me and TJ talked about going into the breakdown of the fights that went down at the Myth is how amazing it is to actually fight there for the fans to be able to watch the fights go down there. What was it like having your very first MMA fight there? I mean, there's not too much you can compare to just because I'd like to see where the next one takes place because then you'd have a little bit of comparison. In my eyes, there's no place like the Myth. But how did it feel to you having the people above and Cade side cheering you on?
Yeah, as soon as I stepped into that building for weigh-ins, I'm like, where the fuck is this guy at? I'm about to be there before the fucking fight.
Oh yeah, dude, I love it.
I couldn't tell you, man. It was really good, really great.
Yeah, it's the energy of that building. And then you mentioned that was just on the day of weigh-ins. I can only imagine how you were feeling walking into the building on the day of the fight.
Oh yeah, no, I remember coming out to my song, and then I was trying to be serious, and I just couldn't stop smiling. I'm just like, thank God my time is right now. I'm like, shit, I couldn't stop smiling.
Hell yeah, I understand that. It's like this is where you want to be. This is where it's at. This is, there's what's to be scared of? It's like I've been asking for this for so long, and now I'm finally here. I can understand why you were smiling, sir.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. So this fight, we mentioned weigh-in day, took place at 160 pounds. Was that something to where, because I mean, I remember I saw you on weigh-in day. You looked fine. Didn't look like you were cutting a lot of weight at all. Was this a fight at 160 because of your opponent, or was this fight at 160 a planned fight?
It was more just like my opponent. It just happened that the first guy I was gonna fight backed out, and then this guy just stepped in. And then I was like, all right, so it's kind of like a catch weight or whatever around there. So that's kind of how that went. But I was super excited.
So is it safe to assume that 155 is your weight class moving forward?
Oh yeah, 155, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the collegiate wrestling experience. I mean, that's one of the things that the wrestlers talk about a lot that we have had on the show. Not knowing who your opponent is, having to maybe even knowing who your opponent is, and then having a change in the lineup and stuff like that. Random changes coming through. Your opponent, your first opponent fell through. Had to fight a replacement fighter. Were you comfortable at all, or were you thinking about that at all? Did it even cross your mind?
No, it didn't cross my mind at all. They could have threw whoever they wanted in. I didn't give a shit. That was my day, and I already knew how it was gonna end. So.
Oh yeah, that's why I like the wrestler's mindset so much. He's just like, it's ready to go. Who's next on line? You go there, you're ready, prepared to face an entire bracket of people, not just one person. So if changes happen, it's just you just roll with it, And I really like that about wrestlers.
Yeah, and you mentioned the collegiate experience. The college you went to specifically is known for spitting out MMA fighters. Obviously, you have John Jones, Kobe Covington at the high end, and then even on the local end, one of our favorites on Trash Talk, Thomas Peterson, who I believe Timon would line up. You were teammates with him. Aaron Mitchell, a high prospect out of Iowa. What was it like being in the room? Is this something you guys talked about as a team, just looking forward, or did this all just work out coincidentally?
It kind of just worked out, like not really coincidentally, but we all talked about it. Like, we kind of want to get into MMA and stuff, but we were still wrestling at the time. And then kind of after college, we started doing it kind of at the same time. And it's like, I'm glad I have that bond with them. We went to college together, and I just want them to succeed, and they want that for me. So, I mean, yeah, we're dogs out there, man. I was saying, dogs.
I was.
Sorry, TJ.
No, I'm sorry. You go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, what's next for Cheeto Jones Rodriguez? What's next for you? Are you looking to fight anytime soon?
Yeah, I think maybe at the end of November. It depends on what my team wants me to do. Kerry Thor is my manager, my promoter. He makes those decisions for me. Whatever he thinks is next for me, I'm ready to roll with it. So I just do my part by training, stay ready, and when I get a call, hey, time to go, let's go.
Oh yeah. Did you have any days off since the fight?
Oh no. I wanted to go in the gym that night. I was so pumped up from the atmosphere. I'm like, shit. Let's go.
Dude, I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love it. I can't wait to see what is next. You definitely put yourself on my radar on Saturday night, sir. I look forward to following your career and seeing what's coming next. If you do fight in November, please reach out to us right away. We'll love to have you on, promote that fight. In the meantime, just before we wrap this up, is there any teammates, any sponsors, anybody you want to shout out to here tonight?
Yeah, Affordable Electric, one of the sponsors. I want to give a shout out to my boy McCoy Techouts. You know,
Yeah.
he's a dog too. Controversial, whatever you want to call it, but he'll be back. He'll be better, and he'll be ready to whoop some ass. So.
Oh, yeah. He's another kid that showed a lot of talent, a lot of poise on the Saturday. That was my pick for fight of the night as far as the whole card went. And I look forward to getting him on Trash Talk here as well. Getting a chance to talk to him. But again, Cheeto, I appreciate your time, sir. Best of luck here in camp, and be sure to reach out to us before the next fight.
All right, we'll do it. Thanks for having me on the show, guys.
I appreciate your time.
Ooh, I almost dropped the mic. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ, you guys.
Are you listening? Damn.